Hello everyone, and welcome to Visual Studio 11 Basic Training for Transaction Developers. I am Miia from ADSOTECH, your Visual partner in the Nordics, and I'm here to guide you through our three training packages, Basic, Advanced 1, and 2. These packages are designed for new Visual users with a developer license. The Complete Basics package includes creating a first script, problem investigation, and the different recording modes. This is the first part of that package, concentrating on how to create your first script. Let's dive in. There are a couple of quick things I would like to show you before we get to creating a script. In Visual Studio 11, you find new and open actions in the File menu, as you do in most Microsoft applications. If you wish to start creating a new script, you select the New action, and if you wish to open an existing script, you select Open, and then you can choose to open one of your most recent scripts or simply browse through your file directory. In the File menu, you can also find Options and then Locations. From here, I recommend that you check the paths to your local files. These are the folders where your script and data files are getting stored by default. We recommend that you always save your files in the same location, as it makes it easier for you to find them later on. If you do not wish to use the default folders already defined, you can change them by using the browse buttons and select default folders that suit you better. Finally, still under File and Options, we have SAP settings. Here we have an option to stay logged on to SAP for the entire WinShuttle session. If you wish to log off from SAP after each script run, then you should have this option unticked. Staying logged on to SAP means you will not be asked for your credentials or the SAP system again as long as your WinShuttle application is open. If you are already logged on to one SAP system through WinShuttle, you're always able to switch to a different SAP system by clicking on the button on the bottom of your WinShuttle screen. That's enough for the user interface at this time. Let's move on to create our first script. Creating a script with WinShuttle means going through three creation steps: record, map, and run. In our example today, we will use transaction MM02 in SAP and update some basic data fields. First, we need to know the steps that we want the new script to take in SAP, and we tell those steps to WinShuttle by recording. Start a new recording by clicking the File menu, then New, Transaction, Create from Recording. In our training today, we concentrate on transaction type scripts, and that's why we choose transaction. Transaction means that the script will primarily push data from Excel to SAP. If we were to create a query type script, then we would be fetching data directly from SAP tables to Excel. At this point, you will be asked to log on to SAP, unless you are already logged on through WinShuttle. In the next pop-up window, give the SAP transaction code of your choosing, in our example MM02. Use standard recording mode in your first script and Excel as your data type. Now you will see a pop-up saying Recording in Progress. Simply wait for a few seconds and you will be transferred to a new SAP window. In this new SAP window, you will automatically be brought to the initial screen of your chosen SAP transaction. Here we are in the initial screen of Change Material MM02. The main idea with the recording of my SAP actions is to simply use the SAP screens and fields as I'm used to using them. So let's start by giving the material number and pressing Enter on the keyboard. In MM02, we are now presented with a view selection list, and you should only select Basic Data 1. In the following screens, you are able to navigate to whatever views you wish. On the following screens and views, you should use your keyboard in each of the fields that you wish to have in your script. Having a field in the script means that you are able to change the data in that field with your script. The fields that you do not touch when recording will not be relevant for the script you are creating. Do note that it is not enough to simply put your cursor in the fields that you wish to be able to change with your new script, but you need to use your keyboard somehow in those fields or change the value of the field, like selecting a new value from a drop-down list. When you use your keyboard, the system will remember that field and it will be part of the script. If you wish to navigate to a different tab or view, it is possible to simply click on one of the view headers that are shown, for instance Basic Data 2. However, most times you also have the option of using the drop-down list as pictured here. If the drop-down list is available, we recommend to use it for your navigation needs. Here we navigate to Basic Data 2 tab by using the drop-down list. In Basic Data 2, we wish to include the basic material field in the script. Whenever changing the value of an SAP field, it is possible to use the search functionality of SAP, even when recording a script. In the example of basic material field, clicking on the search button, I simply get a list of values, and then I'm able to select the appropriate value from this list. The same would apply if a Choose Search window was launched and search criteria could be given. Using this functionality is technically possible, and the search will not be recorded by Windchill. But nevertheless, our recommendation remains that you should always know your transaction and the appropriate values for your fields beforehand, so you don't have to use the search functionality. Once you are happy with the fields that you have recorded, all you need to do is back out from SAP, of course saving your data in the process. In MM02, we recommend that you exit from the transaction by clicking the back button and then clicking yes when SAP prompts you to save your data. Other possible options for exiting your transaction will be navigating to a different tab first and then pressing the save button. We will get into this topic in more detail in the following training sessions. When you have saved your data in SAP and exited the transaction, the SAP window will automatically close and Windchill starts compiling the script. This may take some time, so be patient and wait for the control to be back with Windchill. You will see the map screen once Windchill is ready to move on. At this point, while waiting, you are able to use your computer for other things. If you choose to do that, do remember that Windchill may not automatically jump up on the screen once it is ready. But that only means that you need to click on your Windchill icon on the taskbar to see if it's ready to continue. After recording the script, the next step is to map SAP fields with Excel columns. The mapping is done by drag and drop. Then we save the script and the newly created Excel template. What you now see in your Windchill window is a list of the SAP fields that you recorded. You should see the field description, technical field name, type and length of the field, the mapping type, and the field value that you used when recording. In this list, you can also see the actions that you performed when recording. Those actions would be something like pressing enter on your keyboard or navigating to a different view. Whether you see the actions as well or just the data fields depends on your choice of two views, Basic View and Expert View. Basic View is selected here, and that means we only get a list of the data fields that we recorded in SAP. Choosing Expert View will add the different actions onto the list as well. On the bottom part of your screen, you see a data field. On the bottom part of your screen, you see a data file. This data file is an untitled Excel file by default, so a brand new file that doesn't even have a name yet. You can use this new Excel file to do your mapping for your new script, or you can open an existing Excel file and use that with your script. What does mapping mean? In Winshell terms, mapping means connecting SAP fields to Excel columns. It's a simple drag and drop with your mouse, and you can be in the View or Map menu to do it. You also have the choice between the two different View tabs that I mentioned before, which are the Basic View and the Expert View. Whenever you do the drag and drop, I recommend that you stay in the Basic View and only use the Expert View for more advanced modifications. So for dragging and dropping, put your cursor somewhere in the Excel column of your choosing. Press your mouse button down, drag to the SAP field of your choosing, and release. This makes the connection between the Excel column and the SAP field. Whenever you do the drag and drop, think about the direction of your drag. If you wish your data to go from Excel to SAP, which is what we most often want in a script like this, then make sure that you drag from Excel to SAP. So choose your Excel column first and then drag to the appropriate SAP field. In some cases, you want the data to go from SAP to Excel, which means fetching data from SAP to Excel. In those cases, you need to drag from your SAP field to the appropriate Excel column. But most often, we want the data to go from Excel to SAP, so we drag from Excel to SAP. Once an SAP field is mapped, meaning it has a connection with an Excel column, the mapping type changes and it shows the data direction, whether it has been dragged from SAP to Excel or Excel to SAP. The value column also shows the reference to an Excel column that was chosen. Here, we have decided to use Excel column A for material number. Using the mouse, I put the cursor somewhere in column A, press the button down, and drag to material number. Again, somewhere on that material number line, I release the mouse button, and the connection is made. Once mapped, the mapping type of this SAP field shows the direction of the data flow. The arrow on the blue background pointing upward signifies data going from Excel to SAP. Also, the value column makes a reference to Excel column A. On the Excel side of my screen, column A shows a headline combining the field description and the technical field name of my mapped SAP field. Also on the Excel side, I have the material number value that I used while creating my script. Similar drag and drop action is needed for the rest of the SAP fields. Should there be any SAP fields that I do not wish to have in my Excel template, then I have two options. Either those SAP fields need to be disabled from the script, or they need to have fixed values. Disabling a field means that the field is no longer a part of the script, as if it was never recorded. All the SAP fields that are mapped, those values can be changed using the Excel template once the script and mapping is finished. Using a fixed value for a certain SAP field means that that value will always be entered into SAP for that specific field. It doesn't matter which material is handled via the script, that same fixed value will always go to SAP. In the example given here, everything else has been mapped except the checkbox. You know that everything else is mapped because of the mapping type icons, but also from the Excel template. The checkbox has been left unmapped and it's going to be a fixed value. This checkbox is actually the selection of Basic Data 1 view from the pop-up screen in the beginning of the script. We always want that selection to be the same, so therefore we will leave it as a fixed value. When you are ready to save your work, the script and data file, click on the Save button. Give your data file and your script file appropriate names. We recommend that you use the same name for both files and save them in the default folders. The default folders are selected for you automatically. If you look at the data file path and script path, they will lead you to your default folders. So all you have to do is give appropriate names for the files and then save both with one click using the Save Both Files button on the bottom. Let's do a quick run through of what we have covered so far. Alright, we are ready for step 3, which is running the script. First, we need to prepare the Excel data, and then we are ready to run the script in a testing environment of SAP, and if all is well, we can go to production as well. In the Run menu of your Windshell application, you don't see the SAP fields, but you are able to change the data on the Excel template, and your options on the ribbon also include running the script. First thing to do is to add a couple of rows of data onto the Excel template. 3 to 5 rows should suffice. After entering the data, you can save the data file by clicking the Save button above the Excel rows. With the correct data in Excel, check your Run settings. That is the start and end row, and that they cover all the Excel rows you want test run. Then you are ready to click the Run button. If you don't have an SAP connection open from Windshell at this time, then Windshell will ask for your SAP credentials. If you do have an open SAP connection, Windshell will start running the script without further questions. It might only take a few seconds for the script to run, and you should see a log message in Excel. In your log messages, you might see successes, something like material was changed, but you might also see error messages, which are normally given with an orange background. Look through the errors and see if you can find the cause. It could be about a simple typo in the data, and that you can fix by fixing the typo. After fixing the data, you should rerun the script. This time, don't simply click on the Run button, but click on the down arrow of the Run button and select the option Run Only Error Rows. This way, the script will not handle all the data rows, but only the ones with an orange error message. If the data is now correct and the run is successful, you will notice the log of that row change to light green background. Let me demonstrate the run. That concludes the first part of our basic package for Windshell Studio 11. Please join me in the next part, which will cover problem investigation. That is, what to do when your script brings back error messages from SAP. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining.